Hey, what's up? This is Dave Fatula with Exclusive Leads on Demand, and I just wanted to make this quick video for you to show you how to get 20 to 30 or more concrete driveway, patio, and decorative concrete customers contacting you directly for estimates and ultimately making you more money, and that's for the lowest price possible. So we'll get right to the point. This is for concrete contractors that are looking to grow, scale, expand, wanting to make more money. And even if you're already doing well and you just want to become more profitable by lowering your advertising costs and lowering your customer acquisition costs, that's something that we can show you how to do in this video. So let's just get right to it. How am I going to get you these 20 to 30 phone calls, these 20 to 30 exclusive appointments from customers that are looking for a concrete contractor? Well, the first thing when I sit down with potential clients or potential partners, actually is what I call them. I take them to Google, and there are lots and lots of people looking for the service that you offer, looking for concrete contractors and stamped concrete, decorative concrete, driveways, patios. You know, in this case, in Fresno, just for this one term here, concrete contractors, Fresno, CA or California. And if you vary that up, if you go Fresno concrete contractors, for example, you'll get different numbers of search volume. So naturally, the people who are looking on this particular search engine, which is Google, a small percentage of people will click and they'll go and they'll enter their lead information. Maybe you've signed up with Thumbtack or Yelp or Home Advisor, even Yellow Pages, and they'll enter their information, and then Yelp or Home Advisor, they'll share the lead information with the companies. But the companies who are listed here in what's called like the map section or the local maps pack, when you click on these here and you call this phone number, you don't get charged for every time, basically every lead that you can generate. There's no charge to it. So if you can somehow get into here, and as you can see, you know, in Fresno, for example, there's probably, I don't know, 50 or 60. Oh, okay. So there's 20 per page, and it looks like there's about, I mean, who's really going to go down to, you know, the 10th page of Google to look for a concrete guy, right? Probably nobody. So there's over 200 concrete contractors in Fresno alone, and Fresno is about 400,000 to 500,000 people. So whoever has this listing here, like this is paid, for example, and actually this ad is showing in the wrong place. It shouldn't be showing um, because this is a search that's somewhere else. So this is in Carlsbad, for example, where I'm currently located. But whoever's ranked number 1, 2, and 3 has a massive advantage because they're getting phone calls basically for free. So this actually happens to be a site that I own, and this is how we would get you these customers contacting you directly. So they go onto the internet, they search for a concrete contractor. Sometimes, like on a mobile device, they just pick up the phone and they just click to call. But since I'm doing this from a laptop, they'll go on the website, and then what we do is we forward that. We have uh, Caesar's information here, Cement Concepts, and so they call this number here, and it gets forwarded directly to his phone number. Okay, and some of the leads that have come through, and hopefully you can hear some of these. I'm just going to play them so you know that I'm not BSing you. That was the pool decking lead. So he was calling for concrete work around the pool. Let's see what this one wanted here. Okay, so if you couldn't hear that 12 by 16 slab of concrete, you know, these are just the last 30 days, all the phone calls that we've generated. Some of them are spam, so we don't really count those. but the great thing is that you're not getting charged for those, right? So if that's something that you're interested in, and getting phone calls and customers for the lowest price possible, definitely you can end the presentation here, um, or we can just have another conversation. So, what this isn't buying leads. It's not shared leads. It's not HomeAdvisor and third-party leads. These are customers that have the need. They seek you out at the exact moment that they have the need, and they contact you directly. And so another example. This was a pretty big email lead that came in. For the city of Reedley, 13,000 square feet of concrete. So that's got to be worth. I think he charges like $10 or $12 per square foot or whatever. So that's easily 150, $200,000 job right there. So that's one way that we get the phone calls is through what's called like the organic section. And then the second way we would get the phone calls would be a little bit quicker. We would set you up with an ad. So even if you're already doing well and already have an ad running, we actually can run these ads a little bit more efficiently and lower the cost per click, because right now it costs $6 even if somebody just clicks your ad. For example, Capstone Concrete, just for a click, could be a price shopper, it doesn't matter. You're going to want to make sure that uh, you're getting the maximum amount of leads, and this cost per click is as low as possible. So I have a couple other examples. Some roofing guys we've worked with. We work with tree service guys and pool service guys. He had a $400,000 job, 3 buildings, uh, 15 leads in a couple of days for a construction company. And so, what would 20 or 30 or even 50? And I'm just assuming that we're going to have the lower end of the spectrum. I mean, that 30 phone calls is hardly anything, but you close a few of those, and we're talking about potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, and even up into the millions. So, what would that mean to you? I mean, would it mean more vacations? Would it mean you're struggling with a health problem? You have more time now? Would you give your best employees a raise? Would you have less stress? I mean, you tell me what that means. And so, even you have a certain amount of searches in your area, and even just a small percentage of them, let's say 400, become prospects or clicks to your website, and only 20% of those, which is terrible, convert into leads. We got 80 leads a month. And if you have a terrible closing ratio of 20%, we're still looking at 16 closed deals. Average sale size is 10K, let's say. That's $160,000 a month. That's almost $2 million a year. So let's say I'm 75% wrong, and we're still looking at a $500,000 a year. So like I said, how it works is we set the website up, we do the maps listing, we do the call tracking number, we forward it to you. Another thing that's really important that we do is we interview you, we get your competitive advantages, where you stand in the local market, we get your unique selling proposition, we get your brand story, how you're doing it different. We really showcase you, and we want you to be super successful. So we implement our what I call like the ninja tactics, and then we get you the phone calls, you write the estimates, and close the deals. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, reply back to this email or this text, and I would love to have another conversation with you to see if it would even make sense for us to work together. Now, if you're interested in more of the details of how the Google algorithms work and exactly how we would get you to generating phone calls from the first page of Google and lowering your cost of customer acquisition from AdWords, then we can go into a little bit more detail here. But if you don't care, if you just want the phone calls, you can just press pause and then give me a call. So let's see here. So we'll start now with why is my site ranked above all these other 200 companies, right? Why is it getting phone calls? Why is it ranked on the first page of Google, and why is it basically not stealing traffic, but taking leads from other companies and sending them to this guy? Because there's a certain algorithm, right? Just zoom in a little bit here. So Google has an algorithm that if you basically play this game the best, you're going to be rewarded for that. Now you can't spam and you can't trick this algorithm. It just takes a lot of hard work and a lot of know-how. So I spent probably close to $100,000 in failing and figuring out what doesn't work, and hundreds, probably 1,000+ hours of practice of what it takes to actually rank a site and all the back end, the technical stuff. So this is all a bunch of technical jargon, but the main thing is that you want to have a very strong authoritative site, and you want to have strong backlinks pointing back to that site. So what I tell people is that a lot of companies and a lot of even like SEO companies understanding of of SEO is that they're like doing like whey protein shakes. They're telling you to do a couple exercises and giving you whey protein, and then they think that that's going to make you Mr. Olympia or Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not, right? Arnold was on some serious roids, and he worked out for 7 hours a day, right? And he had some pretty damn amazing genes as well. And so that is what it takes, and we know that algorithm, and we know, and we put in the work to where, okay, well, we get you calls from that first page of Google. And so it seems pretty simple, but again, if you want even a further breakdown, I mean, we're talking about a very intensive process to get it ranked higher and to actually getting phone calls, but we do it all the time. And the higher you're ranked on Google, the more phone calls that you get, obviously. So on the maps and on the organic section, so this would be maps and this would be organic. The higher you're ranked, obviously, the more clicks you're going to get, 30%, as compared to if you're like, on the second page, the whole second page gets like less than 5%. So you're going to get a lot more phone calls, obviously, a lot more traffic if you're ranked higher. So that's the first thing on the organic side. And then figuring out what the AdWords algorithm is all about, as this is pretty complicated, but basically what it comes down to is it doesn't necessarily, like, you can get calls, you can get leads, you can get clicks if you yourself. I mean, Google has a pretty good tutorial, but if you want to pay the least amount of money for and the least amount per lead and the lowest cost per acquisition and get the least amount of junk leads, there's an entire process that you have to follow, and it has to do with your ad rank, your quality score, and your ad relevance. Because somebody who's even bidding higher, they might actually even be ranked lower and get less leads and pay more, even though they're trying to pay more, they're trying to outbid you if your ads are more relevant. So what we do is, let's see if okay, perfect. So the ad rank equals the cost per click and then the quality score. So if your ad, like I said, is more relevant and you have what's called like a one-to-one, this is what our specialty is that matching the searcher with the keyword. So if they search for concrete contractors in Fresno, you want to have that exact keyword term searching for or matched up with their search. So we do that as well. And again, we really focus on just getting you the maximum amount of phone calls for the least amount possible. And there's an entire process that I'm not going to bore you with. We can go through it if you want, but there's a lot that needs to happen in order. It's not just like you set up a campaign. You have to do all these things properly, and it could mean a difference between $10 or $15 per click and cutting that cost in half. So if you're spending $5 or $6 or however $1,000 a month, and you cut that in half and get more phone calls, then obviously that's going to be a lot more beneficial for you. So just to kind of sum it up, we're different than probably everything else you've tried because of 10 different reasons. We have direct phone calls, so there's no third party. So they don't go through HomeAdvisor. They don't go through Yelp. They go directly to you, and they're point of sale calls. So what that means is that as soon as they have the need, they've already done the research on you. They're pre-sold. They're going to call you for an estimate. So it's not a recycled lead. They don't need a quote in 10 months from now or whatever. They call you directly, and it's the point of sale. So they're high quality. They're a lot less price shoppers because Google just seems to be a higher quality lead in general. A lot of these calls, 70, sometimes 80 to 90% turn into estimates. They're exclusive leads, they're not shared. Our cost per lead is a better value, and our cost per customer acquisition is a better value. And then we offer you also not just 20, and I'm not talking like 20 or 30 phone calls. What we want to do is we want to get you unlimited amounts of phone calls and customers and business growth and revenue and profits. Our ROI is trackable, and we also help you with the brand story and unique selling proposition. So all that being said, the next step to take would just be to reply back to this email. If you are looking to grow your business, if you are interested, we can talk about if we are a good fit for each other, and we'll take it from there. Again, this is Dave Fatula, and it has been a pleasure to speak with you.